Welcome, everybody. This is Tao of the Day. I am coming on a little early today just because, it's snowy here in the Midwest and I got to travel a little bit by train and I'm going to be trudging a little bit today. So it's going to be a great day, better than I could have ever imagined, I'm sure. But I always want to start with a little Tao of the day. So if you have a number between 1 and 81 you want to pass on to me, I am open to hearing and talking to you about the Tao. The Tao Te Ching is an ancient text written about 600 BC by Lao Tzu. Of course, the translations are endless, and I use a translation written in the 80s by Stephen Mitchell. Stephen Mitchell is the husband of famed, um, I don't know what to call her, Brene Brown, I believe, and but she's a famed person, famous person. And he married her. I think he's famous in many areas as well, but probably not as much as Brene Brown. So, yeah, I'm here to talk with you about the Tao of the Day. What I do is I invite you up to ask me to read a number between 1 and 81. I ask for that number because there are 81 verses in the Tao. And if you give me a number, we will share a Tao together. These chapters are fairly short. Some of them are longer than others, but none of them take more than a minute or so to read. So these are pretty easy to get through. We read them, talk about like some of the overarching ideas that we might see, and then we go through it line by line. So if you have a number between 1 and 81 you'd like to share with me, come on up and I will share the Tao. Today, because no one's jumping on right now, I know I'm coming on a little early. I'm going to go ahead and pick a number, and I don't know. Like it's always nice to pick one of the extremes. A lot of people kind of go with the middle numbers. We had some threes coming up recently, so maybe I'm gonna pick number six. Let's look at number six. What do we got here? Oh, very, very short. Very short. So that if nobody comes and joins me, this is gonna be an extremely short verse and an extremely short Tao of the day. But if you are listening, are you ready? This is number six. The Tao is called the Great Mother, empty yet inexhaustible. It gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. This is number six of the Tao Te Ching. And if you have a number between 1 and 81 you want to share with me, just jump on up and we can talk about that because this isn't going to take long. Actually, it can take quite some time because it is such a deep and profound number here. So the Tao is called the Great Mother. Empty yet inexhaustible, it gives birth to infinite worlds. So, this is an explanation of what the Great Mother is, right? This goes into empty yet inexhaustible. It gives birth to infinite worlds. So the Great Mother. Okay, so let's look at the term mother. So much of the Tao refers to and talks about and addresses things from this space of the feminine. And so the Tao is the Great Mother, where, we always talk about God as the masculine, right? God in so many of the religious texts, I could just have a, masculine space, right? Father, he, all of that sort of thing, right? But the Tao is the Great Mother, empty yet inexhaustible. The Tao is called the Great Mother, empty yet inexhaustible. When we look at a mother, I see this. It doesn't take for her, she doesn't take for herself. She allows for the child to be the child, and she doesn't try. I look at this as, maybe not your mother, but what the image of a mother is like this person who is empty in order to receive their child as their child is, and yet inexhaustible, right? Like there's an inexhaustible exuberance about the ability to support the child. And I look at the Tao that way, right? Like the Tao is always here ready to help you move to where you're going. but it doesn't ask for itself. And that's the emptiness, right? Empty, meaning it doesn't have a desire of its own, yet inexhaustible as it will utilize its desire, like the desire that it can have through you. So if you have a desire to take piano lessons, right? Like the great mother will present you with piano lessons. Like that is kind of how I'm seeing this, especially as it relates to this verse. So empty yet inexhaustible, it gives birth to infinite worlds. See this, if a mother were to give birth to infinite children, each one of those children would have a different personality, would be a different person, would have different interests. And so she would have to be empty in order to give to each one of those children, in order to give excitement and support to each one of those children for being who they are about to be, they are exploring, what they are exploring in their lives, whether that be an addict or a successful business person or a dancer or whatever. None of that matters. That's an infinite, like, each one of us is capable of infinite possibilities. And so the great mother would have to support each and every one of those. And the emptiness that is mentioned here, like the Tao is called the great mother, empty yet inexhaustible. That emptiness is that ability to fill herself with the depth and the of possibility, and every possibility is within that inexhaustible range. And so that's kind of how I see that first verse, and then it goes in, then it finishes off. I mean, very very quickly. It is always present within you. And so the Tao is the great mother, and it's always present within you. This support that is inexhaustible, this is support that is empty, and you can fill with whatever it is you desire. It is always present within you. So every moment. So if this moves into that point. It moves into that conversation around um law of attraction, right? Whatever you give to it is what you fill the great mother with, and what the great mother moves you towards. I can speak to that because when I was an addict, and when I was, moving through life in a way that saw everything as, shitty, it was very easy for me to continue getting shitty things and continue seeing things as shitty in my life. So it's always present within you. And what does it do? It gives birth to infinite worlds, and as do you, right? It can give birth through you to infinite worlds, maybe not as a person, but as an experience. That is the world, right? And so all of this revolves around some of this is law of attraction stuff, but on a deeper scale maybe than we normally see, right? The Tao is called the great mother, empty because it doesn't have anything for itself, yet inexhaustible because we can always use it, and it will always be present within us. And no matter what manifestation will be inexhaustible for us, it will give birth to it gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. So no matter how you want to use the Tao, it can be used by you for whatever you want. It's no judgment. There's nothing like, it's not just what you like. It's, yesterday I talked about wanting and liking. I did a talk on wanting and liking, and it's such a big difference, right? Like there's a big difference between wanting and liking, especially if you may have experienced this, if you've had addictions where you don't like the things that you tend to want. You want to use, or you want to drink, and yet those aren't things that you like anymore. So it's important to understand that you can use it any way you want, and we want to really differentiate the wants here, right? You can use it any way you want. You want to use it to do things you don't like. You want to use it to engage and enhance things you do like. You can use the Tao however you wish, and there is no limit to how you can use it or how you're supposed to use it. Right? There's no rule as to how you're supposed to use it. You use the Tao as you wish. And that's today's Tao of the day. Does anybody want to come up and talk with me about the Tao? I would be happy to host you. If you have a number between 1 and 81 and you want to join me up here on stage and talk about the Tao Te Ching, I'd be happy to. I know I'm coming on a little early for many people, and I might just shut this room down a little shy of, probably 20 minutes or a little shy of 10 minutes. I don't know. But yeah, it's snowing here in the Midwest, and I'm your host, Martin John. I host the Tao Te Ching weekdays. I host the Tao of the Day, and I'm always looking to engage with people on a whole bunch of different levels and different areas, and would love to have you on if you are willing. Give me a number between 1 and 81, and we will read your Tao for the day. I host the Recover Yourself podcast. I work with individuals through art and sensation, um, and I work with a limited number of clients one-on-one each month, and my whole goal is to help you recover who you are, to help you recover yourself. And this isn't the person that you were born to be, because as soon as you were born, you were living under the influence of your parents. As soon as you started doing anything in your life, engaging with anybody, you started living under their influence because you had no frame of reference. Today, as an adult, I help individuals find their path and find themselves within all that they do, because you are the most important thing that you can bring into this world. It's not what you offer. It's not your weight. It's not your productivity. It's none of that. You are here and you are present. And everything that you do has value, and it's coming from you. I just wanted to come on, do my Tao for the day. If anybody wants to come up, I'm going to be signing off shortly. But if you want to come up, I'd be happy to talk with you. If you got a number between 1 and 81, I'd gladly read the Tao with you. And if not, I'm Martin John, your host, the host of the Recover Yourself podcast, as well as a whole number of things revolving around how you can recover yourself. I appreciate you guys listening. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.